Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The scenario is called Wasted Youth. It was written by Christopher Smith Adair. It's part of a collection called New Tales of the Miskatonic Valley, and it's available from Drive-Thru RPG. Our game master is Jen Obertacz, and this is episode 5. Our recap will be given by Billy Chung as his character, Darius Shaw. But before we begin, we have a new patron. Mateusz Lokomski has pledged 4.5 euros a month to our club. Thank you very much, Mateusz. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Billy?
Thank you, Tom. Confronted with a grisly murder in the middle of the night, the investigators were in hot pursuit of the culprit, a teenage girl afflicted with the same homicidal madness they had encountered earlier. The murderous youth dead in his sights, private investigator Darius Shaw's shot was spoiled when Dr. Adrian Ramberg, ever the humanitarian, threw himself in the way. As certain as the sun rises from the east, no good deed ever goes unpunished, and the vile youth threw a nearby baby into a freezing river to effect her escape. If not for the intrepid reporter Philip Clancy, the poor babe would be lost. Still hoping to rescue the missing scout troop with the potassium bromide formula identified by Dr. Vincent Sprague, our heroes made haste to the wilderness near Winthrop Farm, where they made a gruesome discovery. The wasted youths have turned on their scoutmaster, one Dudley Robinson, mutilating the man and running off deeper into the woods, likely led by the mysterious Elijah Corey of Dunwich. Led by the skilled outdoorsman Brody Hamner, the investigators followed and entered treacherous terrain and insidious traps in their trek across the wild. Some of these traps were in fact far too elaborate to have been constructed in haste, leading to suspicions of darker and more terrible designs awaiting them at their destination. This ill omen bore fruits, as they find themselves now staring face to face with a freshly decapitated head of one of the teenagers on a pike, fresh blood still dripping from it. Oh, and along the way, they scored a bunch of booze. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, and so we're coming back in. Everyone, you're staring at the decapitated head of one of the scouts. Eyes are still open, tongue is lolling out, blood still dripping out of the severed neck. It's gruesome. There's no getting around it. This is awful.
Good God almighty.
I'm
Fresh.
First, I'm gonna need you all to give me a sanity roll, please.
8. I'm getting used to it.
Oh my! Oh, 1.
Yeah.
So are they turning on their own now?
Okay, so everybody who passed, since that would be all of you, just loses a point for that. Whatever. This is not a good sign for any of you if you're being rather used to all this. But what now, Brody?
I was just I'm asking the others, do you think they're starting to turn on each other? And this is
Rabid
one of their own.
animals have a way of doing that.
Maybe it's just general insanity.
B.
Versus scout trooper or the scoutmaster not winning
Or-
their own.
I suspect that this might be like a one of the leader of them, sacrificing the lesser ones of the tribe.
Doctor, how long do you think it's been here? Is it really fresh or?
I'll take a look. I have some medical. So
While he's doing that, I'm keeping an eye around looking for
Yeah.
ambush traps.
regular success.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely tell this is fairly recent. Like,
Well,
if this is most likely not terribly long before you guys got here. That
Right, so-
for
last 15 minutes or so.
maybe a little bit more, but not much.
No more than 30 minutes. Then.
Yeah.
I say, yeah, this looks like it was done with at most about 30 minutes ago.
Oh, we're right behind them then.
Yeah, we're catching up.
Who is
Yeah.
this for? Are they leaving a signal or a message for us, or is this for someone else?
It's almost feels like a desperate warning. You know,
I think
if they're
so.
setting traps for us, why are they suddenly decapitated? They're trying to say, hey, don't come any closer. We're going to cut your head off.
Mhm.
Maybe there's less traps now because we're not stopping.
Right. Also, I should have also mentioned that not too far away, and they didn't really bother trying to conceal this, is the rest of the body.
Yeah.
Adrian, what do you think? Dr. Rambert?
Silence.
He's-
In fact,
Rambert?
maybe a second ago, you hear what sounds almost like something very velvety kind of flapping.
The hell?
What?
Where is he?
Doctor?
Rambert! I need my coat back.
Yeah.
Then all of a
My
sudden,
keys are in it.
all of a sudden, you guys hear what sounds like a lot of broken branches and.
I'm going to run towards that gun drawn.
Yeah, I'm with you, Darius.
Doctor,
Okay.
Dr. Rambert.
Darius, you and Clancy, for a good second, don't quite realize what you're looking at. Because aside from drowning in your coat, the top of, from about here up, is now been covered in what appears to be brown fur. And like he's struggling with something that seems to have wrapped itself around his head.
I take my gun out and shoot at the fur, ideally slightly above his head, but I shoot at the fur. Is it moving? Is it?
Yeah, it like ripples, like it definitely reacted to the shot.
Okay.
You think you might see what
the
looks
hell
like
is
a.
this?
You think you see what looks like what could possibly be a tail, sort of flapping against Rambert's chest.
Like a giant bat?
Maybe, but it's a lot thinner, and it looks like that looked like it could be a stinger, maybe
Oh,
like a manta ray, maybe.
And this is way up in a tree, what, like 20 feet up?
Well, yeah, he's on the ground, but it's like wrapped itself around his head.
Oh, it's on the ground.
okay. Let's run up and try to pull it off, whatever it is.
yeah.
I mean, with the stinger, we risk getting, stumped.
We'll grab the stinger.
Yeah. I
All right.
3 of us on it. Darius, cover us.
Oh, wait. I'll run up.
Yeah.
I'll
was
run
gonna
up
say-
to the stinger and whack.
And have Champion do it. He's a dog. He's
Okay, give
Yeah.
me that would be a brawl, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give me a brawl, please. And it's so distracted, it's not even going to bother rolling against you.
Okay.
And
I got
I'm running.
15 out of 25, so I hit it.
Okay. It definitely like ripples. You hear like this sort of like really sort of odd, almost ululating sound as it like that could have been a cry of pain, maybe.
Yeah.
As it lets go. And yeah, it looks like a flying manta ray covered in brown fur.
What the hell?
Oh my God.
What the?
I'm going to try to stab at it again.
Yeah, like what is it doing? The
It's
brown thing.
after it unwraps itself from around Rambert, he collapses. He's
Rambert.
unconscious.
Yeah. I of course rushed to Rambert.
Yeah,
My
I cover
medical
them.
bag.
Yeah.
Well, if the
Okay.
creature's still there, I'm going to attack it again.
Okay, now it's going to fight back. So let me get this.
Rambert.
Yeah, that's a hard for me.
Oh, okay. I got an 06, which
Okay.
is
Piercing.
one away from extreme.
Okay, so
I'll spend the one luck for the extreme.
okay. All right, so that would be how much damage is your machete going to do?
Well, it's just a knife.
Oh, just a knife.
You call that a knife?
It's a big knife. Where's my machete? Oh, 1d8 plus damage bonus, which is a 1d4. So let's.
Is that piercing?
Is that max?
That's max plus damage.
Is it piercing?
Yeah, it is. I do believe.
Should be, right? Yeah.
Well, I got an 8.
Okay.
So an 8 plus 4. Wow. And then plus max, which is an 8 and a 4.
So, needless to say,
I dive on it like this.
you basically pin that thing to the forest floor. It spurts out some you're not even sure if that was blood. It's almost yellow, maybe, and it smells really bad. And then the thing just wriggles and dies.
Ooh, is someone making soup?
What the fuck is this thing?
And
I'm taking a picture of it.
I'll get off of it so you can take a picture.
right.
Oh, yeah. Pose.
Right.
Yes. Well, I give Rambert some smelling salts.
How does he look? Are there things on his face, suction signs?
No, but there definitely appears to be what looks like abrasions around his mouth, and he's
Just to be safe, Doctor, do you have any of the...
Yes, I do. And I give him some of that because I suspect he's been forced some of that stuff. So I give him some of that medicine.
he pukes up bile, but nothing else. Brody, as you're getting off of the dead body of the thing, you notice after you pull your knife out that there's a long, really nasty-looking tongue coming out of this thing's mouth.
What kind of creature is this, Brody? Have you seen it in the wilds in your journeys?
Not outside of an ocean, but what the hell is this?
With fur on it?
Yeah, take some pictures.
Yeah.
Is the tongue got anything is it just a tongue or?
If you look at it closer, it sort of has the texture of a cat, sandpapery.
If you squeeze it, does it eject something?
No, but there definitely appears to be what looks like a couple of, are those barbs at the end?
Barbs on it?
At the very tip, maybe? You're not sure?
I'm gonna make sure that it's dead.
Well,
watch out.
Let's not go too far, because if we keep the body intact, take it back, it might be valuable.
We could put it in
maybe, but if it's still alive, we want to make sure
it's
it's not still alive.
Yeah, make sure it's dead.
Yeah, a few more
Through the
times.
head.
Okay, there you go.
It sort of flops a little bit in the rhythm of your stabs, but it doesn't move otherwise. It's dead.
Okay.
All right.
Now what the hell are we dealing with?
Do we need to do sanity?
Yeah, now that you've dealt with this, sanity, please.
Oh, I didn't do so well on that.
Okay.
No, I failed.
I passed.
Okay, so the two of you that passed, at this point, this doesn't even really tick on the weird shit-o-meter. So,
But I did pass my intelligence roll. So.
Oh.
Well, how much did we take off yet?
Yeah.
I would honestly, at most, I would have said D4.
Okay.
Because, it's a creature not of this planet. But okay. So Brody, you understand that this isn't this shouldn't exist. This does not make any sense. This is not from this plane, this planet.
What?
This should not be here.
It's remember the kids' pictures?
Oh, with the brown furry thing?
I mean, they were weird. Yeah.
So we just killed it. We're good. We're done. right?
I never assume there's just one.
I guess it was bigger in the picture.
How's Brody? I mean, how's
Yes, I gave Rambert smelling some, just keeping care of him.
Ugh.
You all right there, Pipsqueak?
we need to end this.
What was that?
Him? I take my gun out. Oh, you mean this,
what,
not him?
What are you
okay.
doing, you? Ugh.
I
What is this
misunderstood.
country? What was that thing?
It's
We
some
don't
type
know.
of giant flying manta ray.
Manta. He sort of slumps down and like sits against a tree. I can't do this. I can't. If you
Stay
must,
here.
Probably.
he's like shivering, like he's like burrowing into Darius's coat. Like he just looks shrunken and tired and miserable and just, you know.
Lambert,
Go
you're
back to the
no good
road.
here.
Go back
I
to the
know
road.
you're-
Paul's back there, so.
Yeah. Can you take that along with you in the car? I mean, it could be valuable.
Yes, driving in America is not so much different.
There's a bottle of gin in the car. You know what to do with it.
Yes, I need to forget this night ever happened. Forget this trip ever happened. Why did I even come here? So dumped. He said.
For your
He said,
paper.
"Yes, my paper, paper." He sort of mutters to himself. I wish you wouldn't do this, but those children, they need to be saved.
They will be saved. They'll be at
All right.
peace. Don't worry, Doctor.
This is witchery. This is somebody's calling up demons from the plains of hell. Look at that thing.
It smelled fun.
It is an abnormality. I'll say that much for it.
We have to go stop these kids.
Yeah, I do agree with you, especially after they obviously they killed one of their own. Who knows what other horrible things they'll do? They're willing to kill their part of their own tribe.
They're acting in a manner that makes me think that kids can't come up with this shit. There has to be an adult behind this. I thought it was Scoutmaster, but
Not
they
Scout.
killed him.
You're right. The traps, the
And if this is a
warning sign.
if this is what people call demon, then maybe the devil has possessed one of those kids and is trying to bring about the end of the world or something. And it's
Chief,
crazy, but
Yeah, Chief whines. His ears are back.
Hey, Jen, quick question. How many
I get
bottles
the
of booze
dogs
did we find?
some pets and a treat.
what
How
was
many
your
bottles
question?
of alcohol did we find? Do you remember?
Oh,
Like 2 or 3?
something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so we might still have 1 or 2 bottles like around.
I grabbed a bottle. I think
And-
Derek grabbed a bottle.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is
I'll
and
take
this
it with-
this is not stuff you could have bought because prohibition. This is bathtub gin.
Okay.
It'll burn.
What we don't drink, it will burn. So
Yeah.
I'm going to start making a Molotov.
Yeah. Darius, I'm
Will
with you.
gin burn?
As alcohol, it should burn.
Well, not all alcohol. It's got too much water in it.
Yeah, it has
let's
to be a
check.
certain proof.
Yeah.
Try it, but
What
Yeah, we
about
could try it.
Doc? Doc, what about the kid's body?
Yeah, what?
Does
What
he
about
have any of that stuff in him?
I take a look. Well, I take a look at the body. I mean, I'd have to do a dissection. I pull
You
out a
need to
That
knife.
stuff
open
is-
the head.
That
Dr.
stuff is
Dr.
that stuff is
Vincent,
Yes.
the stuff is attracted to itself, isn't it? If you
give me a spot hidden.
Sure. So look around. All right. Hard success.
Okay. So as you're looking around, you're getting ready to even examine the body. You actually, it's still very dark, and like there's very thick trees. But somehow, from the meager light that does come in, it sort of glints off something kind of gelatinous off near a tree root.
All right, I go over there. I go over there.
Careful. It might crawl up through your nose or something.
Yeah, I look at it. Is it even moving or is it?
A little bit, but it's definitely kind of weak. Like it's sort of starting to like And suddenly it's just gone.
Well, it was there, but it looks like it couldn't handle being outside too long. It's kind of.
It needs a host.
Or did it die in the sunlight? Was there sunlight?
There's
No, it's dark.
sunlight. It's
Middle of the
night
night.
time.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, I thought it
it's
was
middle of the
morning.
night.
No, it just kind of dissolved.
Well,
Let's
I mean, we had that other stuff. It's the black goo. It stayed around for a while.
Well, then again, we had enticed it out of a host
Living
that was still
host.
living.
let's get this over with. My God.
Yes.
I'm starting to be on Darius's side.
We
There's
will
something
save them. We will give them
totally
peace.
evil coming up ahead of us.
We will
Okay.
save their eternal soul.
All right. So as you guys continue on, I'm just gonna fast forward just a tiny bit. So after you come through here, you're led across a 2-lane dirt highway that you all would know is like right south of Foxfield. And if you're going south, you'd be crossing the Miskatonic River and the Aylesbury Pike, so you kind of know where you are. But you're led to into the woods for about another 2 miles. After that, this is where things get interesting. So, through an opening in the trees, you spot what looks like a dome. It's dark, but about a 1/4 mile away, a ring of torches illuminate the top of a domed hill. Some of their light casting angles down the slope, so you can kind of see where it is.
Isn't it raining?
Stopped.
It was, but then it kind of faded.
Okay.
Do we know? Since we recognize where we're at, do we know anything about that hill? Do we know if there's something up there?
There's old Indian ruins, rings of stones.
Right. I mean, is there something up there like that? Is there?
Any stories
No.
you remember, Brody, from these parts of the woods?
I think everybody's heard there's strange knockings on the ground sometimes, and geologists have never been able to figure out what makes the noise. Some people think it's the devil. I think it's the devil. Maybe they're having some sort of satanic ritual up there.
Sounds like.
What's the date today?
It's only been maybe a couple of days, and we started like June 1st, I think, so it's probably June 3rd. Like night of June 3rd,
Okay.
maybe June 4th at this point.
So it's not May Eve, and it's not Halloween.
Coincidentally, if it's June 4th, it's technically my birthday in about 60 years.
They're
That would
Jen
make sense.
worshippers.
I could see that. They're trying to bring her into the world.
They're up there going, Obertacz, Obertacz, Obertacz.
Oh.
Yes, me, the Lovecraftian horror. Anyway,
See if we can sneak up to them. We're going to be able to sneak about halfway up that hill, and then it's going to give way to just rock and scrub.
Do we see like figures casting shadows from the torches? Are
Brody.
too far to tell?
it's you can kind of see something kind of blurry, and like
Yeah.
it looked. If nothing else, you can kind of see blobs. But from as far away as you are, that's all you can get, unless you have
Right.
binoculars.
Brody, is there a way to approach that place without being
Like I say,
seen? Or-
only about halfway up. I mean, there's trees about halfway up, but then it's just rock and scrub. Nothing taller than a foot off the ground.
Mm,
So we can get close, but we can't get all the way. I'm not sure what we would do
They're
anyway.
distracted.
So I walked up to Dr. Sprigg. Sprigg, take this. I give him the Molotov. Brody and I will go first. Anything happens, we'll keep the kids occupied. You know what to do.
Watch
all
out for
right.
furry bats.
Yeah, I have the lantern in one hand, and I make sure the Molotov is in my coat pocket, ready to grab and use. I don't
Okay.
want to have it in my hand in case I drop it or something. But I do have my scalpel out, so I have a, and I'm kind of looking around and looking above, going.
Now,
Okay.
the only thing I can think of, my character can think of, is desecration. So if there's some sort of statue or symbol or something, destroy it.
Right.
That's
All
my
right.
method of thinking.
Okay. So all right. So Brody and Darius, you guys are going to be sneaking up to the hill. I'm going to need you to give me stealth checks for this. Now, granted, it is dark and they are distracted, so you will have it. You both can add bonus die to this.
Yeah, I want to say advantage about this different game. First one 61, second one
75 with the first one.
Ooh, 001.
Woo!
56 is not good enough for my stealth.
Can my
So at
001
some
help
point-
with it?
No. At some
Fortunately, no.
You're sneaking up and I've lost my footing and I've slid down making noise with the rocks.
But maybe far away from me, so you're distracting them.
Yeah.
You guys maybe got to about football field-ish away by that point.
Uh-huh.
So you do see one of the boys who's holding, it looks like a homemade torch, like maybe a tree branch with a fire on the end. It's not really super like sophisticated here. He kind of turns to follow the noise, but then turns back to what he's doing.
Okay.
I'm
I'm going to stand still for a minute.
I'm gonna try up away from Brody and Darius, but coming up at a different angle. I'm
Okay.
good at stealth, so
Same with me. I'm slowly trying to go up there, but I'm behind the rest of them.
Okay. Let me see. Well, they are like I said, they are very distracted, and it is dark. So you will have a bonus die for stealth.
Right. And I definitely have the bullseye lantern shuttered.
Right.
Oh, cool. I
hard
actually made it.
success.
There we
Hard
go.
success.
So the rest of you are sneaking up without too much trouble. So here's what you see. On top of this hill, there's no statue, there's no marks, there's nothing like that as far as you can see. It's just a circle of let me see, make sure I've got my numbers right. Okay, it's a circle of 11 boys, and in the middle is another boy on his knees, and standing behind him with a wicked-looking knife in his hand is Elijah Corey. 12 years old, dark hair, Boy Scout uniform. Definitely has the sort of coarser, rougher features you would see from a kid who probably grew up in like the country, and especially like poor country.
It's a human sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
How clustered are they?
It's not. It's a wide enough circle that like people can get in and out if they need to, but it's not like it doesn't take up the whole hill. There's not enough of them.
I got an extreme on my shot.
Okay. Who are you trying to shoot?
The kid with the knife.
Okay.
Trying to shoot him in the head, or are you trying to shoot him in the hand?
I'm trying to kill him. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was an extreme. So let me make sure I've got this. And you caught him completely by surprise. Aside from Brody making noise, he was definitely focused on what he was doing. So, okay. Okay, so how much damage is that?
It would be 10, and then I rolled a 5, so 15.
So before he can even start to try and stab his knife into this kid's neck, he rocks back and like almost falls into the legs of one of the other kids. Sort of thrashes a little bit more. And then suddenly, as he's starts to like convulse a little bit, you sort of hear him scream, like do some like jerky motions with his hands. And then he shouts,
as he does that, I'm gonna go and shoot as well, because he's clearly not dead from a shot like that.
Torch him, Doc.
Unfortunately, before he can do that, he sort of this is hard to explain, so I'm gonna have to there's gonna be a lot of flailing. I apologize in advance. He kind of his back suddenly arches, like he's almost folded in half, kind of, then doubles back over. And it appears his shirt splits as something in his back starts growing very, very large. It splits. And out comes this big black hump of the same glistening material that it seemed like was there. And as it starts getting bigger, appendages start coming out this way and that, and sort of like flailing around as it's getting there. And eventually a face appears. A human-looking face shows up, but the eyes are bigger, the nose is kind of like think like Voldemort nose, like snaky kind of, and like a very wide mouth, just grinning, of like too many teeth, way too many teeth. This face then turns itself into a head. It rears back, legs sort of sprouting out from its trunk as it sort of stands with the shriveled remains of what used to be Elijah hanging from it. It snaps a tentacle, and pretty much all of the 11 Boy Scouts just collapse. Torches dropping to the ground.
Torches are on the ground?
Doc.
The ground is wet.
Arius was running towards it.
I am running towards it, gun drawn and shooting.
Now it was ready for you this time. So hold that thought.
Crap.
Okay, so let me get I've already got the order more or less figured out here. Being able to prep ahead of time helps.
Always does.
Okay.
I was just say at this point I'm last because I'm still kind of splayed where I slid down.
Yeah.
I'm the farthest one down. I've got to still make my way up.
Okay, so hold on, Brody, until you get
once
there.
I hear the gunshot, then I'm going to scramble.
Okay.
I'm behind everyone else.
I think the dog's probably the fastest one.
Okay.
Dog's probably going and right away.
Dog should run away.
Smart dog. Smart dog.
He's on his way to
Okay.
Connecticut.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, so, this thing gets up, and you're rushing at him, Darius. It's definitely heading at you.
Well, I'll let out as terrifying a scream as I can. Not that I think I can scare it, but I will. And then, just aim for center mass.
It's going to let's see. I'm sure I've got this. Okay. First, it's going to send a tentacle at you.
All right. So dodge or?
Well, are you dodging or are you fighting back?
I'm a dodging.
Okay.
All right.
That's a fail.
Okay, I got a 12. I was about to spend luck, but okay.
So that one basically whips past your head.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're the one.
What are you?
Something you could never comprehend.
So then he then sort of just gives a sort of almost deranged cackle. Clancy, you're next.
I guess come up a little closer and I have a Molotov cocktail.
Okay.
Start lighting it.
All right. So that's it for you then. Next up, Vincent.
I pull the Molotov that's already ready in my pocket out, light it with the bullseye lantern. I have a fire right there, and I'm throwing it at it.
Okay. It's going to try and claw you to stop you from throwing the Molotov.
All right.
Okay. Oh. 008.
Ugh. No, I didn't dodge that.
Okay. So that is. Where's my die? Oh, hold on. So that is 7 damage.
Well, I'm still alive, but that's a major wound.
Right. The Molotov falls, and let me do a luck roll here.
You said the ground was wet.
Yes, I did.
Well,
that just means the alcohol goes far.
That's yeah.
I got a 90.
Yes.
So it's still on fire. It's not leaking. It didn't break. It's just there.
All right.
You threw the wrong thing. Throw the potassium bromide.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah. I know exactly what you mean. I can do that, but I have to think of that first. Anyway, I need to make a con
I yell
check.
it at you.
Yeah. So you need to make a con roll. So are you still conscious right now?
I barely made it. 49 out of 50.
Doesn't matter. You made it. So you're conscious. Oh God, everything hurts. You've got some pretty deep lacerations on your side. Oh, that bleeding doesn't look good. Doesn't appear to have hit an artery though, but ow. Ow! You're going to need a lot of stitches.
All right. So do I do something now, or is that my action?
That was your turn.
Yeah, that was your action. Okay, Darius.
So seeing that this happened and sort of that is calling at the doctor, I'm going to start yelling at it, "Hey, ugly!" Distracting it.
It swivels.
Can I try to intimidate it as an action, or can I just shoot? Like, is that even feasible? Like, I'm gonna rip you to shreds. If you think you're ugly now, just wait.
I don't think you're gonna intimidate it.
My intimidate is higher than my gun.
You dare to insult a servant of Lord Safadwa?
I can't even pronounce that.
Oh, you are so stupid. Let me expand your mind, shall we?
Well, but I'm shooting at it, or am I intimidating?
Yeah, so you're shooting.
Okay, so I'm just shooting it first. Come on. Okay, I got 25, and I'm gonna spend 3 luck to make it a hard success at its face.
Okay. All right. So it was gonna try, and that time it was gonna try and go for a bite. So, but
How many attacks does it have?
since you got a hard success, I'm not thinking this is gonna go very well. But we'll see. Yeah. No. Fail.
Eat lead.
All right. How much damage?
Oh, good question. Let's see. So this would be a D10 plus 2. Let me get my D10. Oh, wait, I have D10. All right, so that would be a 6 plus a 2, so that would be 8 points of damage.
Oh, you just shot a pretty good hole in this thing.
That's
Damn
just
it.
the beginning. And I start giggling as creepily as it does, or at least I tried. And we just start giggling.
and it's just like,
Well then. Let me expand your mind, shall we?
Good luck, I'm stupid.
so it does a couple of it's our chance in a language you don't quite know, in a language you don't understand, obviously, sort of makes like a, you need to give me a power roll.
Okay, power roll. Ooh, that might actually not end too poorly. All right, I got 71. I'm gonna spend 6 points to pass.
I got a 14.
Okay, then I'm not gonna spend 6 points to pass.
Okay. So you suddenly are struck with the worst headache of your life. Like, I'm talking, this is not migraine, I'm talking, you think you might be having a stroke. It almost feels like your brain is trying to break through your skull.
Why, brain? I gave you so little work to do every day. Why? You had an easy life.
Am I up there yet?
Yes, you are. You are, by the way, Darius, you are on your knees. Like, this is incapacitating level pain.
How much damage am I taking?
Currently, 1.
Oh. Pepto or Tylenol now.
All right, so that's all for him for the moment. Brody, you finally made it. Slotting you into the order. You're up.
Okay. I'm running over past Dr. Vincent and pouring the bromide on my blade and then attacking the creature with it.
Okay.
Some of it,
All right, so it looks up. It's gonna snap a tentacle at you as you're trying to stab it. So that's is a that's a pass.
65. Ooh, I really didn't make it. All right, so I failed.
Okay, so it actually wraps its tentacle around your hand, jerks, and your blade goes flying.
Aww.
And on the back, and as it draws itself back, you basically get smacked with the tentacle, and that is 4 damage.
Oof. That at least knocks me down onto my hands and knees. But it's not half, so. It should. He's like made of the shit.
Okay. While you're doing that, Chief has come up and is flying at this thing. Like his hackles are all up, ears flat, like he looks like a hellhound right now with how much he's snarling. So Chief's gonna fling himself at this thing. Let me find his stats. Too many papers. Okay, there we go. Or wait, is that it? Oh yeah, right there. Okay. So he is going to go for a bite. That's definitely a fail, but it's gonna try and use the shriveled form of Elijah. Has its own like claw things. It's sort of like a, and swipes his own claws at Chief. And that is also a fail. In this little bit of a lull, guys, you finally have a moment to sort of contemplate what you're looking at. So, everybody, please give me a sanity roll. I probably should have had you do this before the fight even started, but, well.
I already have a headache, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rolled a pass.
Okay.
Oof. I can spend luck to pass sanity, right? Can I? No.
No.
That's okay. Then I fail by 2 points.
Okay. All right. So for those of you that passed, that is 2 sanity loss. And for those of you that failed, also 2.
Ooh.
Sometimes the dice just like you. Okay. So, all right. So next up, Clancy.
All right. It sounds like there's too many people around it to throw this Molotov. Cocktail at it. The dog's engaged with it. Darius is on his knees. I'm just gonna take a shot with my free hand then.
Okay. He sort of swivels to look at you.
Bring it then, shall we?
All right.
So he's going to send a claw arm over in your direction as well. So let's see.
Kind of hard.
Oh, I just got a regular pass. So you win. Damage?
9 points.
Okay. Unbeknownst to it, you managed to have just enough clarity, and you get it.
I brought it.
Yep. Right between its eyes.
No! Savannah! Please! Not now!
As it just into a puddle of black ick. And finally the shriveled thing that used to be Elijah Corey drops off of it and just lays there in like a flung up pile of like a discarded suit.
Molotov the goo.
Yeah, that's why I said it's my turn. I'm injured. I pick up the burning Molotov and put it on a burning goo.
I roll away from the goo, still clutching my head.
And yes, Darius, as it dies, your head still aches, but it no longer feels like your brain's about to burst.
Ugh, wow, fire!
And I move just far enough away to be out of the way range of it, and I just sit down as I look at
over here, Chief. Over here.
As I see my blood slowly flowing out of my open wound.
I'm going to go over quickly and do a first aid.
First aid. I'm going to.
Doc Vince.
And
And then see if we can cure some of these boys.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
they're
get my
all
gun out in case the boys go nuts. So.
they're all unconscious, by the way.
Okay. The sound of Dr. Vincent screaming is because apparently I decided to just jam my fingers in the hole.
It's not working.
I got a 95 on my
Oh,
first aid.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry. Isn't that how this works?
Well, you're trying to stop the bleeding, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go and try to help him out too. Can I do a roll too, or
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right. All right, I'm spending 10 luck. Pass.
okay.
My luck is like
You get a point back and you stop
Yeah.
bleeding.
Yeah, you're
I slowly go around to each kid, giving them potassium bromide.
and yes, they all are. They're all hacking up this stuff.
And
But
I'm making
again-
sure it goes into fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not sure. None of you are completely sure, but you're pretty certain you thought you heard what sounded like little bits of as the stuff burned.
Burn, baby, burn.
music to my ears.
Um,
Out
and
and eye out for any of those flying things now.
right, nothing seems to be around, but it does seem like after all the rest of this stuff just burns, and the rest of the kids are like, "What happened? Where are we?"
Brody, move the children down away from this area. There's no reason for them to be traumatized any further.
Try not
Like-
to
We
walk
gotta
past the
Get them
head.
all back to civilization.
And if you were to question any of them, you would all discover that, again, like the rest of the kids, they literally have no memory of like the last 2 days.
They don't remember anything except that they ingested something and
hmm
ate a cookie or a cupcake or something.
They seem to remember they were having dinner around the campfire, and that is the last thing they remember.
Is there anything else on that hill, like no table, no altar, no structure, right?
Not that you can see. There's maybe like what looks to be, you're not even sure, it just be piles of rocks for all you know, but there's nothing really on this hill specifically that really gives you a hint as to why they picked this spot.
I'm going
If
to
the
go over
knife
and look.
looked special. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm going to go over and look at Elijah's body.
Okay, give me a spot hidden.
34 years. It pass.
Yay! Okay, so when you're looking at this, well, the odd again, when you get to the pile of
Goo.
skin and muscle that used to be Elijah, you can kind of see that like there's like you can kind of see if you peer into the split along his back where this thing came out of, you can kind of see what appears to be like streaks or like darkening in like almost like along the veins, or almost like this black stuff had sort of really infiltrated,
Right.
and like the smell is nothing. You smell dead things, obviously, but this,
Well, I want to see if he has anything like some sort of an artifact that started this whole shebang.
yes, actually, if you look in his bag, you see what appears to be a mason jar, and there near the bottom, there's very little of it left now. There's still a sample of more
Cool.
moving stuff.
Right. I'm going to toss
But-
that onto the fire. Go ahead.
Okay, but it's not as it's moving, but it's very weak. Like it's
Right.
just it's in the process of dissolving, but you put it in the fire anyway.
And then I'm going to roll Elijah's body onto the fire too, because you can't. It could still have that stuff inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
This could be like the blob.
And then eventually, as the fire burns out, like just as the fire burns out, it takes for whatever reason, it takes a while for this stuff to burn. By the time the fire burns out, dawn has lightened the sky. It's probably about, I would say, 6 a.m. The sun is starting to rise, and in the distance, you can start to hear the distant sounds of sirens and the lights of the incoming police cars, and
They can probably see the smoke and everything.
I was
and-
going to toss more stuff on it if we need smoke.
And in front, you see what appears to be that junker car still driving with a, and you can't see it from here, but you'll see when he finally pulls up to sort of show the police where you guys are, the very harried form but determined look of Dr. Adrian Ramberg.
Is the body in the car still like there, or
No, it's gone.
Okay.
No, it's gone. And as he's waving to you as if this is all over, that's the end of the adventure.
How many kids did we save? Most of them?
Aside from the ones that were killed on the way, you got them all.
I like how they were waiting around
Elijah.
while we're burning the body. Like while we're rolling around.
They left. They went with Dr. Vincent. They didn't have to see that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought they were standing around in a circle.
No,
watching Brody
Vincent
roll
was
the
making
body.
sure that they didn't take any more mental damage.
Right.
Fair enough.
Okay. So you guys actually got quite a bit of it as to what was going on. So you twigged pretty early that it was Sathagwa, but what you didn't know was that it wasn't Sathagwa himself. What you actually were fighting was a priest of Sathagwa.
Okay.
Let me see if I've got this. Yeah. And his name was Zolothos. He was a Hyperborean cultist,
Okay.
high priest, who was the high priest of the cult of Zathagwa, who was reaching the end of his life, and he decided that he wasn't ready to die. So he decided to sacrifice some of the temple's guardians, and he was able to make this black stuff that could basically hold into your essence even as his own body died. So that black stuff was actually his consciousness distilled into this goop.
Ah.
So that's
Dark soul.
So that's why it was trying to reconstitute itself.
And when it would get inside of a kid, it would make them crazy.
Mm-hmm. Basically, what he was trying to do was he was trying to get a body back. So so what had happened was that there were a bunch of rituals that had to be done, including the blood sacrifice of Hyperborean children before he could get his body back. Problem was Hyperborea collapsed.
Right. Doesn't exist anymore.
Right. So he was literally stuck in his temple basement for millennia. And basically by sheer strength of will, he finally managed to get himself out of the ruins, which is where Elijah Corey found him. Zolothos was able to let's see. Yeah. So Elijah found him while he was exploring the area, scooped him into the mason jar, and Zolothos got to work basically subverting him to his will by talking to him. And then he managed to trick him into eating some of him, and thus it all started.
Then starting to spread it around. Yeah.
Right, because he needed to gather enough kids to go back. So that hill you were on, underneath the hill was the ruins of his temple.
Whoa.
And so they needed to actually do the final ritual, including all of the child sacrifices, so that he could get his body back and come back to life, more or less. But because you didn't even give him a chance to do any of the sacrifices, that was why you got the body you did.
So are all the kids cured, or?
Yeah, they're cured. They just have.
They're probably psychologically down.
Well, no. These 11 kids from the troop, they have no memory of the last couple days. So
what about the creepy girl?
Unfortunately, you didn't get a chance to get to the bromide to her in time, so shortly after the bridge incident, she had a heart attack and died.
Okay, so she's not still out in the wild, and we have to hunt her down.
Right.
So
and pretty much, had you managed to save her, though, she'd had it in her long enough that she would have had short-term memory problems the rest of her life. And as you saw, there was really no saving Elijah. He had been infiltrated way too deeply by Zolothos.
Little did the Hyperborean wizard imagine that 5 American troopers
and a dog
thwart his plan, and a dog, thwart his plans.
And in fact, there is the dog right there.
Oh,
Yay!
Hi, puppy.
Yep, sleeping on the couch after that horrible incident.
So basically, the entire reason I wanted to do this module in the first place was because when I read it, I was like, a not really standard Call of Cthulhu mission, but it's like it starts as vandalism and ends as Lord of the Flies. It's kind of.
Yeah, in fact, I was thinking Lord of the Flies when we were getting towards the end. Good adventure. I love it.
Yeah. So how did they set that deadfall, like all the traps? That was very elaborate.
It doesn't really say, but my guess is that some of this he had set up before he really started getting the plan moving.
Okay.
Probably with Elijah.
Yeah.
And I guess they're scouts, so that's when we.
Right. So like some of this was set and ready to go. It was more of a matter of just baiting the trap, if you will. What was I gonna say? I'm very glad that we didn't kill the dog. I didn't want to do it, but Chief would have attacked.
And as you can see, Chief is right there, happy.
Sound.
Actually, funny enough, this could have gone a bit longer had you guys not kept succeeding in your tracking rolls.
Yeah, we did pretty well.
So
yeah.
Episode 4 could have been a lot worse than it was because, you guys never got sidetracked or went on the wrong trail or things like that. So I kept having to go, crap.
When I jumped on the hairy manta ray, I've never gotten the highest roll I could pop. I got an 8 and a 4. And then it was a period. I mean, and so it was another 8 and a 4. It's never happened.
It was just that's a lot.
Yeah, it's like 24 points of damage. Yeah.
Oh, and just the story behind that is actually a Hyperborean creature that so what happened with the head on the spike was that kid vomited up his bit of Zolothos on his own and was suddenly disoriented and didn't know what was happening. The rest of them went, crap. This isn't good. So they just set upon him, killed him. Yeah. Actually, what I will say, how that happened was that at the Boy Scout retreat during the campfire dinner, Elijah put bits of Zolothos in the camp dinner. So all the kids ate it. They got infected. And then he led them in what he said was a Native American Native American chant he had learned in like Dunwich. It wasn't. It was actually a Hyperborean mind control spell, which also contributed to a lot of what they were doing.
So what would have happened if we ate any of the black goo? Like how long would it take before we would have lost control?
The thing is, it takes a little bit longer than you might think because a lot of the changes are very subtle.
Yeah.
So at first you would have lost like a lot of. You would start like acting out in small ways, or you would stop finding things that should be disturbing. You would find them like funny maybe, or then it would start escalating into acts of vandalism, things like that. The entire reason that it was some of the kids couldn't handle it, some of them were better at it, but yes, the cupcake thing Elijah had put some of Zolothos into a cupcake that he had given to Lou Marino. That was how he got it.
Okay.
The other two were because he was putting it in some of their lunches in the school kitchen.
Right. Yeah.
So I know we kept ignoring
about
her, but what was Roberta's like lead, because she came up quite a few times, like the reporter lady?
Oh, she was basically just really irritated that she didn't get to cover the second story because her colleague got there first.
Okay, so there wasn't like another side plot where the colleague was also involved or whatever.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Rivals.
Yeah, just professional rivalry.
And they all lose their jobs because Clancy just got the best pictures ever.
Well, I'm not sure how well all that. Now, granted, the fact that you guys got most of the kids back alive helps a lot.
I have a funny feeling the story isn't the real story. I think his article is going to be modified so it says children rescued by local heroes.
Oh yeah.
Then had a campfire for celebration.
And either the blame will be on the poor innocent scout leader to cover up the real issues, or they'll say that Elijah
evil Dunwich brat.
Or evil Dunwich brat. Or misguided Dunwich child.
And the sad thing about Elijah is that he was being ostracized at school because he transferred in mid-year and he was from the country and nobody really liked him.
Mm-hmm.
It really was just wrong place, wrong time.
Except the German cafeteria lady.
Yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and finish. We can continue talking after. Sorry for the interruption. I've got a doctor's appointment and we're just confirming. Our players included Thomas Grooms, Billy Chung, Oren Meyer, and myself with Jen Obertacz as Keeper of the Secrets. Dexter had something that he had to do, so he wasn't able to play. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 to a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.